Hello all, this is for all. This really is for all. It's not like bigoted or sexist or racist. None of my videos are. It's just that you guys like immediately take what the left tells you and say, any kind of genuine constructive. I guess we could just say the left has concluded that constructive criticism to help the intended recipients of said constructive criticism is an ist. You know, if you try to help blacks do this, you try to help women do that, as long as you're not a white male and you're talking, hey, I think I can help you out here, that's an ist. You're a sexist, a misogynist, a racist. And so anyway, fuck that. This has nothing to do with the original intent of the video. And now I completely forgot what I was talking about because I went on that segue. But thankfully I have this thing. Oh, yes, very important, very important. I even took notes on this. I'm going to save it here. Good. We got to have this is important. This is one of the most important lessons I've ever learned. And the earlier you learn this, the better your life is going to be. And that is, you can really only do your best. That's it. That's all you can do. And you say, well, that sounds kind of Disney and extra special touchy-feely. No, you really got to understand this. There's what you control and what you do not control. And you have to realize, the reason this was prompted is I had a client and he felt bad. He was falsely accused of rape. He did not do it. And he still feels guilty about the accusation. I'm like, you didn't do it. And he still feels, well, yeah, but and this is a perfect example of what you do and do not control. And an example of where you can learn to have a lot of solace, comfort in your life. You only have this sphere that is 100% under your control. Unfortunately, you interact with the rest of the world that surrounds it. And unfortunately, the rest of the world that surrounds it is not necessarily moral, just, right, kind, or just or moral. Sometimes you have evil people, which there are, no doubt, and I think sometimes more than there is good people, that make this environment attack or compromise your little sphere. And a lot of people, especially you younger people out there, you think that you have somehow failed in your personal life and it's your responsibility when this exterior environment infiltrates and penetrates and destroys your personal life or compromises it in some way. Perfect example is the hard work, and this happened in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. You had a lot of these hardworking, good men who were carpenters, tradesmen, plumbers, electricians, real estate developers even, who were like, wow, look at this booming housing market. And they built up, and they built up, but they were making great money. They got married, and they said, wife, we're going to take care of it. And they don't have the foresight to look into the future, say there might be lean times. And then the housing market fell out from underneath them. And here you have this honest plumber, this honest carpenter, this honest tradesman who thought he could provide and deliver to his family, you know, to himself, to his wife, to his children, a standard of living that now he couldn't. And there were suicides over it. I know a couple. Unfortunately, these people killed themselves because of the shame and the gravity of the situation when the housing market crashed. They didn't have the income that was there before. They could not afford the house they bought on that income in the high times. They could not afford the truck payments. They could not afford taking their children and their family out and giving them the standards of living that they grew accustomed to. And they felt, for some reason, that they failed. And they did not. They did not fail. They worked hard. They were carpenters. They had a trade. They were willing to work. They were selfless. They provided for the family. They provided, it was for them. It wasn't even necessary for that individual. And what ended up happening is it was banker fucking scum and real estate developer fucking scum and bankster higher up the chain ladder Federal Reserve Central Bank scum that totally destroyed that market. And here's this sole little carpenter, tradesman, that takes the entirety of a multi-trillion-dollar market, the world's biggest bubble, the world's history's biggest bubble ever, and takes it on himself, thinking somehow that's his responsibility, that a bunch of banker scum lent out money that was never going to be paid back to their fucking cronies so they could make a fucking commission. They took it personally to the point some of them committed suicide, which is tragic and sad. I don't want you to commit suicide, and I definitely don't want you to think that that is your fault. You have to realize what is and is not in your control. Let us take this little angry bird here that my good friend made for me. Let us say your sphere is the back ass end of this. This is what you control. We'll get rid of his beak because it kind of throws out. I want something more spherical. This is your world of control. You control what's ever in this world. Outside of it, you do not control it. So the point being, as long as you do your best, then you are forgiven. I don't mean to sound so fucking religious. I know it's not even I'm creeping out about saying that. I'm just saying you can only do your best. This is your sphere. Let's get you the ass end of the bird again. That's your sphere. This is what you control within that sphere. As long as you do your best, you try your best, that's all you can do. And if the exterior world and society is so amoral and morally bankrupt and corrupt that your world collapses, it's not your fault. Now, your world's still going to collapse. It's going to suck. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's going to suck. But you should not have any shame or guilt. None. You've done what you could in your sphere. You did your best. And that really is all you can do. Because what are you going to do beyond it? So what I'm trying to do is like give you the concept, the understanding. You are not responsible for everything in the world. You're not responsible for things outside of your control. All you can do is what you can do within your control, within your sphere. Now there's a lot of people are, well, I did my best. I wonder if you really did. Like, did you invest in silver? Did you have like investing in offshore asset protection trust? Did you major in the right thing? Did you try this? Did you try that? You know, there's a lot of things that a family man, I guess I'm talking to men, but this goes to anybody. You know, did you really do your best? See, that's where the real demons come out, is when you don't do your best and then you blame society for it, because then there's a question, and that question is where the demons live, and the demons will gnaw at you and fucking kill you. You gotta make sure you do your best, and when you do your best and you still fail, at least you're like, hey, you know what, like, I'm not to bring this back on me or sound arrogant, I graduated with a 3.9 fucking 6 GPA. I graduated number five, and the people that were ahead of me were these 4 cocksucking, spoiled little brat motherfuckers from the suburbs of Minneapolis that mommy and daddy paid their way through, and I think 2 of them took 5 years to graduate. I graduated 6 months early. Do you think I have any regret about not achieving the banking position or realizing my banking? I did my best. And you know, on top of it, I knew that after I worked in banking, I realized just how corrupt it was. But there was no doubt in my mind that I was the top dog. No doubt in my mind. None whatsoever. A lot of people, oh, you're arrogant and cocky. No. I'm not arrogant. I've empirically proved to myself and everybody else I was the fucking best. I was number one, even though I graduated 5 because I had 2 A minuses. My whole point is that there's no regret. I can sleep. I have a good conscience. Or consciousness? Good conscience? I sleep well at night is what I'm saying. I don't worry about, did I really try my best? Yeah, I did my best. And if society cannot accept the fact and appreciate that you tried your best, well, fuck society. It's not your problem, it's society's problem. So, something to think about. And this kid, this is why I prompted it. The guy, like, got a false rape accusation. He didn't do it, and I believe him. Frankly, I do, because I'm more prone to believe in a fake rape accusation than a real one, because that's statistically what's bearing out. But what the veracity of his claim, let's set that aside. Let us assume it is a fake rape accusation. He still feels guilty for something he didn't do. Not in your sphere of control. You got to let go. Again, carpenters, tradesmen, plumbers, electricians. The housing market fell out from you in 2007. You blame yourself? Not in your control. I'm not saying the real-world ramifications of poverty or the consequences of other people's decisions don't have an effect on your personal life. But by God, that is unnecessary interest on a debt that's going to have to be repaid when you blame yourself for something that is not your problem. All right? So, very important. What is within your control? Number 2, did you do your best? Conclusion, Number 3, fuck the rest of the world if you did. Because it's not, that's all you could do. That's all you could do. So grant yourself at least the solace and the peace of mind. You did your best. And if that's not good enough, then it's not your fault. And you can forgive yourself of this guilt that is completely unnecessary and unjust. That's all we got. Think about it. It's helped me out very much in my life. Hope it helps you out in yours. Toodles.